And happy Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is my morning musings. We are looking at the eschatology of the parables of Jesus. And by the way, thank you so much to those of you who have purchased my 32-lesson series on the parables. I appreciate that so very much. I think you're going to really enjoy that. You can go to my website, eschatology.org or bibleprophecy.com, and order that, and I'll pay the shipping on it. But the parables are intensely eschatological. We come now to one of those parables that an awful lot of people do not see as eschatological. As a matter of fact, Luke chapter 16, verses 1 to 13, is widely considered to be one of the most perplexing, one of the most confusing, even disturbing of Jesus' parables. There was a man who had a steward who was accused of being unfaithful. And so the master went to the steward and said to him, "Look, I'm going to put you out. I'm going to fire you," in other words. Look, and you've just got to understand, a steward in the first century world was second in authority only to the master of the household, second only to the father. I mean, this man had virtual control. So anyway, to lose, to be kicked out of a stewardship, was an incredible financial loss. It was an incredible social stigma. That's just not good. So here Jesus tells this steward, "I'm going to put you out because you've been unfaithful." Well, the man immediately went to the debtors and began to reduce their indebtedness. The master heard about it and said he had been wise, and as a result of that, he was to be blessed. Okay, so was Jesus condoning and blessing the unscrupulous, what seems to be the unscrupulous actions of the steward? No. Jesus is simply using an illustration to point to the necessity. What's critical here is to understand Jesus was talking to his disciples. He's not talking about or to the wider audience. He has turned from addressing the multitude to now he's focused in on his specific disciples. And he's telling them to prepare basically for the coming end of the age. I want you to notice the verse that is so critical. Jesus said, verse 8 of Luke 16, "The master commended the unjust steward." Why? Because he had dealt shrewdly. Not because he had been dishonest, but because he had been shrewd in preparing for the future, in preparing for the difficult time that was coming. Now notice what Jesus says. The sons of this world are more shrewd in their generation than the sons of light. What we have is Jesus contrasting this age with the age that was coming. This is an eschatological text dealing with the impending passing of what Jesus called this age. And the word world here is from aeon, and it's not world at all, it is age. So Jesus is talking about the passing of the age in which he was living. Well, what age was Jesus living in? He wasn't living in the Christian age. He was living in the last days of the Mosaic age. And notice he contrasts it with the sons of light. You see, what we have here is, to reiterate, a contrast between ages. It is not a contrast between time versus the end of time. The age in which Jesus was living was coming to a close. The age to come which is the age of light, was about to break in. Now notice this. Paul in Ephesians 5 verse 8 says, you, writing to followers of Jesus Christ, were one time darkness, but now you are light. Walk as children of light. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, Paul contrasts the children of darkness with the children of light. And he says, you are not of the night, but of the day. In Romans 13, 11 and following, the writer says, and now the night is far spent. The day is at hand. In 1 John chapter 2 and verse 8, the night is passing away, and the true light is already shining. You see, not only was Jesus living in, quote, this age, that was the age of darkness, the Mosaic covenant age, but he knew that the age to come was about to break in with his death, his burial, and the resurrection. But that's not the full arrival of the day. There was a transitional period. That's why Paul says the night is far spent. The day is at hand. That's why John said the darkness is passing away. The true light is already shining. That's why Peter said that they needed to give heed to the Old Covenant Scriptures until the day arises, until the day star arises and shines in your heart. You see, so Jesus was telling his apostles they were about to go through a tremendously difficult transitioning of the ages. They needed to make provisions for themselves to prepare for life in the age to come. And we'll have more to say about that on the flip side. In the meantime, don't forget, Joel McDermott has written a really good book, has some very good things to say on this particular parable, for instance. Go to my website, eschatology.org or BibleProphecy.com. Order the book, Jesus v. Jerusalem. Make note, send me a note that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping, and that'll save you $5. We've got more on Luke chapter 16, and we'll see you on the flip side.